Hello everyone, today is the 6th day of April 2020 and we are working very fast. April is usually a pretty busy month, but this year even more so because of this great pandemic, and we have a lot to get going. So I'd like to share with you, kind of use this video to give you a little tour of one of our gardening plots, and so how we're working on it, how we manage it, and how we try to be as efficient and effective with it as possible. So this is one of these garden plots. There are 15 beds here, raised beds, permanent raised beds. There are 50 feet long and 30 inches wide, and so this is one bed or two that we're just getting ready to work on. We're going to plant some Asian greens and some radishes. The next two beds are carrots that finally starting to sprout after 12 days. I noticed some sprouting this morning. It's a little cool, it's a little chilly, so it's right on target for this time of the year. And here are two other beds that we're also going to plant carrots on. Now, first question is, what have we done on these beds to make them look nice and clean? There's no weeds. They were covered with tarps. Tarps are a great way to get a head start on the work, because these beds were tarped in the fall. I'll let them rest, and so now they're ready to be worked on. So one word though, these beds I kind of broad forked them about 2 weeks ago when I worked on these two. So I work on these 4 beds at the same time and cover these two again. And so we're going to plant this today. So 14 days later, we'll have another crop of carrots. So it's kind of a succession here. What I like to do now is show you this. These were also tarped during the winter, but I haven't done any work. I just removed the tarps, and so here's some of the things that you can see. Well, the voles had a great winter here. And that's okay. They're kind of loosening up the soil, and that's good. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come these 2 beds. I'm going to use the broad fork, and I'm going to broad fork them. And so, and that'll be the first step. Then we're going to rake it a little bit, add a few amendments, and then this will be ready to plant. As I'm going over raking these two beds, I quickly realized that there's a slight difference in the quality of the soil in these two beds, and the reason is obvious to me because obviously I've been working on these beds for a while. For example, you see on this bed to my right is that it is a little clumpy, and that's expected because we have heavy clay soils in this area here, whereas the one on the left is much looser. You see it's really loose, nice soil, and it's actually darker. Well, I know that this soil is loose soil because it has much more compost in it, and the reason is that the last crop that I had here last year was carrots, and I typically compost my carrot beds very heavily, so you can see the color of this soil is really dark, almost black. And this one is, don't get me wrong, this one has a good color too. It's actually pretty healthy soil, but as I say, as you can tell, it's a little more clumpy. So what I'm going to do is, on this bed, I'm going to add a load of compost, maybe a full wheelbarrow or so, plus some amendments. I'm going to add a little chicken manure and a little bit of alfalfa meal. On this bed, I'm only going to do the chicken manure and alfalfa meal, so I'm not going to do any compost on this one. We get this super great quality compost from a company called Blackberry Composting here in Virginia. We're so fortunate that these people are just down the road from us, and this is something that is incredibly beneficial and very, well, to us it's affordable. I guess that the proximity is important. Plus, we've established a relationship with this company. And so, yes, this is black gold that we are putting on the ground here, and gonna mix it with that soil that we have. I'm gonna make this terrific soil here. Alright, so these 2 beds are ready to be planted. All we will do here now is come with the seeder and get those things planted. We're gonna have radishes and we're gonna have turnips in these 2 beds. I just look into my notes and see which one is which. Moving down, we have these 2 other beds. We're gonna prepare now. This is where carrots are gonna go. And so the process of preparation of these 2 beds is similar to the one that we just did, except that because carrot seeds are slow to germinate, we're gonna add a thick layer of compost on top. So we're gonna rake these, we're gonna break all the crumbs, a little bit of fertilizer here. Again, just a little bit of chicken manure and a little bit of alfalfa meal. And then we're gonna flatten it and get it ready. Then we'll come on top. I'm gonna add about a 3/4 of an inch layer of compost. All right, we have the beds already prepared. Nice thick layer of compost, about, yeah, maybe say an inch, 3/4 of an inch or so. And so this is what we're going to do. We're going to plant our carrots. Start with the carrots now here and on this bed, and we'll do 5 rows. And yeah, so I mean, once we get to this point, most of the work is done, because the seeder is kind of the fun part to do. Alright, when all the seeds are in, all the work is done, what we do now is just open the irrigation and let nature take over from here on. We pray that this will be a successful crop or successful crops, and if you're one of our CSI subscribers or customers at the farmers market, this is how we grow your food. If you're here just for the pleasure and the sake of watching, welcome. Thank you for visiting. I wish all of you a blessed day, and I'll see you soon.